All right. We have a couple more activities to do with the black hole of technology reading. So let's go ahead and go there. Let's stop the chatting in the chat box for now, please, and focus on ELA. So you guys all have the assignment, black hole of technology. So let's go ahead and get that opened up. Yeah, I'll give you guys a minute or so to get there, have it all opened. There it goes. All right. I'll give you guys a minute. Mine took a little bit of time, so I'll let you guys get there. No, not yet. Okay, so go ahead and be taking the time, get the black hole of technology open. We're going to do 2 activities, and then I'm going to introduce the writing assignment. We're going to do this for the rest of the week. It does look a little like Buddha, but I don't know exactly who it is. Maybe like, I don't know. All right. About 30 more seconds to get this assignment opened up. Is it a Buddha temple? Is that what the temple was yesterday? No. That's cool. So then, yeah, it probably is a version of Buddha in the picture. Yeah, or maybe one of the monks of Buddhism. You never know, right? It depends on the person. Some people will put gauges in their ears, which is like you get your ears pierced, and then you start putting like these types of earrings in your ears that are little circles, and then it slowly stretches out your earlobe, and you can put bigger and bigger circles in it. It's a thing. Most people don't use it so that they can flick their ears. No. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hide the top. Today we are gonna work on some language development stuff. We're gonna do 2 activities here. We're gonna start with the concept vocabulary. Okay. So I'll give you a second to get that one open. So the concept vocabulary is what we are going to work on first. So go ahead and have that one open. We had 5 vocabulary words. And as we were going over those vocabulary words earlier in the week, we kind of talked about how they all basically mean the same thing, right? To devour means to take something in quickly. To process means that you're going to be understanding and getting the knowledge of something. Digesting is not like the thing that happens in your stomach, but in your mind, you're taking in information, digesting it. Absorbing is, again, taking in information. And then consumed is that you have been like taken over by something, right? So these words all mean basically the same thing. So it says, why these words? These concept words all relate to eating and taking in nutrients, but they also apply to the way that we take in information. For example, the same person who is devouring a plate of scrambled eggs in the morning could later be devouring an article about how people should limit the number of eggs that they eat each week. Are you supposed to limit the number of eggs you eat? I don't know. I like eggs. I hope not. Anyway, so the words usually have two separate meanings. Devour means to eat something really quickly or to just take in information really well. It could go both ways. So for number one, it asks, how does the concept vocabulary sharpen the reader's understanding of the blogger's attitude toward technology? So these words, devouring, absorbing, processing, consumed, how do they help us understand the blogger's attitude towards technology? First of all, so Lena Khan is our blogger. What's her attitude toward technology? She likes it, but then she also what? Doesn't like it. Yes. She likes it, but she doesn't. Why? She got to enjoy the surroundings around her. Yeah, because she wants to enjoy her surroundings. Yeah, and she wants to use technology less. So how do these words help us understand that? Any ideas? How do those 5 words help us understand that? Okay. Okay, how can these words help us understand her ideas better? Any ideas? They are kind of the opposite of her ideas, right? So instead of so her idea is that we need to use it less, but all of these vocabulary words are people that are being sucked into the black hole of technology, right? So good, Alan. She's kind of saying that this is what technology will do to you. So these words help prove her point, right? Help prove her point. And what is her point again? That technology should be used less. Yeah. Good. So these words all kind of connect to the idea that people are just getting sucked into technology and they're being consumed by it. And it helps prove her point that we should just use it less. They're strong vocabulary words that get the point across pretty well. Okay? So I will give you a second to type that out. I'm going to check attendance while you guys are working on that. Yeah, we're not typing anymore in there, so you can close it when you're done. All right. Do about 30 more seconds, and then we will look at number 2. Yeah, we're going to finish the story today, but you're going to use the story for your writing assignment. All right, so concept vocabulary, number 1. All done. Number 2, you're going to have to go back and look through the story. Number 2 says, what other words in the selection or in the blog post connect to this concept? So you guys, need to go back and look for some words that could also mean that people are being consumed by technology. They're absorbed in technology. They can't get out of the technology hole, right? So go ahead and go back through. I'm going to give you about 2 or 3 minutes. Highlight or type down a couple of words that give you the same idea that people are being taken over by technology. Okay? See if you can find any more words that work. Okay, so finding a few more words that might talk about being consumed by technology. Do about 1 more minute. Okay. Everybody want to give me a word that they have? All right, Fallon put one in the chat already. Mindlessly in paragraph 2. The bottom or the top of the paragraph. There it is. Okay, found it. So mindlessly is a good word. They're mindlessly doing it. Okay. Technology enabled in paragraph 1 is another one that Maudie said. We've got that up at the front or at the beginning. So technology enabled, yeah, you're pretty consumed by it because you can do anything with technology. Glued is a good one, Misty. Let me type out the technology one. Oops, sorry. Technology enabled. Okay. And then I see glued in paragraph 2 as well. Our hands are glued to our phones. Okay. Anybody else have any words that might make it seem like people are just consumed by technology? Artificial. How so, Monty? And where? Artificial in technology. Is right here the artificial lighting. Yeah. So artificial lighting, I mean, it kind of has to do with technology, but it's like the lights that are in here. So I don't really know exactly how that shows that we're consumed by technology. Not necessarily. It's a good thought, though, because it is a technology. We need it, right? Any other ideas? Let's try and find one more. Those are all near the beginning of the story. Do we have any near the end that talk about being consumed by technology? Any last ideas? We're a lively bunch this morning. Modern technology? Kind of. There's a lot of things about modern technology that can consume you. The screen will pull you in, but these are more like those are more like nouns about technology versus like the feeling of being sucked into technology. One of the big ones that I think, yeah, actually, I was going to say the black hole of technology near the bottom at the very end. The black hole is kind of what she's talking about in general, of being sucked into technology. So the black hole really gives the feeling of everybody is just consumed. You're being taken over by technology. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yep. Okay, good. We can go ahead and close that one when you're done. Okay. And then we have the practice parts. So we'll scroll a little bit down. We're only going to do number 1. So if you would like to, on number 2, you can write skip already, because we're only going to do number 1 here. So you can write skip for number 2. For number 1, though, it says use as many of the concept words, so those 5 vocabulary words, as you can in a paragraph about the blog to demonstrate your understanding of each meaning of the word. So basically, you're writing a short paragraph about the blog and try to use those vocabulary words in your paragraph. Doesn't have to be long or detailed, just a couple of sentences that tries to use those words. So, write, let's say 3 to 5 sentences about the blog using the vocabulary words. Okay, does this one make sense? Any questions on this one? As long as it has to do with the blog, you can make up the story, but it's got to somehow relate to technology, right? All right, I'll give you guys about 5 minutes. Sounds like a good amount of time to use those words. 5 minutes to write 3 to 5 sentences. Yeah, that's fine, Don. under language development, it's the concept vocabulary. Kind of near the bottom of it, the practice part. Yes, you can change the tense of the word if you need to. So instead of consumed, you can use consuming. Instead of digesting, you can use digest. Doesn't have to be the exact word. Just at least use that main root word. Okay, we'll do a couple more minutes. You guys are working well on this part. That's right, John. Yeah. Okay.
Like read the first sentence about the why using the vocabulary.
Alrighty. How we doing? Yes, we are doing more things. Do we have to use all the vocabulary words? Not all of them, just try to use as many as possible. I think that's all the questions, right? Now let's do about 1 more minute. If you're done, go ahead and just sit tight. 1 more minute. Okay. So, I think we're all good with the vocabulary words. Do you guys feel like you have a pretty good understanding of those vocabulary words now?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. All right. So the next part that we are going to do, I know I said that we were going to do 2 parts from this, but I don't want to. So we're actually going to close the concept vocabulary, and we're going to be done with language development, and we're going to move into effective expression. This is where we're going to talk about the writing assignment we're going to do for the rest of the week. So you'll have about 2 days because I'm gonna explain it and get you started on it today. Just as a side note, I have a meeting tomorrow at 8 a.m., which is when we start ELA, right? Which means I won't be here to do ELA with you. So I'm gonna make a little video and post it at 8 a.m. tomorrow and have you guys be working on it. I don't know who'll be in here. It might be Miss Lowry, it might be Mr. Turner. No idea. They'll be here to help you, but that means that we will not have a live ELA lesson tomorrow because I won't be here to do it. So, we're gonna start the assignment today, get going on it, and then a little video tomorrow to keep you working on it. But it's basically just writing an essay. So you'll just be working on an essay tomorrow when I'm gone, just for that meeting. Does that make sense? No, it's at 8 a.m. It's across the school. I'll be back at like 8:30 tops, maybe 8:45. But I have to go to a meeting. So that means that we won't have a live ELA lesson tomorrow, but you will have an assignment. And this goes back to when I was gone. Just because I'm not here doesn't mean you don't have to do the work. So if you are online, we won't have the ELA lesson tomorrow, but I will post a video with the assignment to work on. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to open up this writing to compare and talk about what you're going to be doing. I don't think there's anything to write on this part, but it's what you're working on. So writing to compare says, hang on, my glasses are really dirty. Okay, that's better. You have read 2 blog posts that express different views of technology. So we read last week, Teens and Technology, right? And then this week, we read The Black Hole of Technology. Do they have the same sides of the argument about technology? Charlie's shaking his head no. Why, Charlie? Okay, yeah. So a lot of people are saying no. They don't really have the same views. Charlie's typing out his answer because apparently the quiet game you can't even talk when we're playing when I ask a question. Okay, good. So one of the blog posts wants more technology and the other one wants to use less. So the teens in technology, we talked about yesterday, they want more technology because they think that the teens that are growing up can create cool things with technology and do good with the technology. And then you have the black hole of technology that we just read this week that's like, nah, we need to look up from our phones, we need to stop going on technology and appreciate the world around us. So 2 different sides of an argument, right? More technology, less technology. And then it asks you which one presents a stronger case. So which blog post were you more, which one convinced you more? This one? Anybody else? Which one convinced you more about technology? The black hole one?
This one.
Why? Why the black hole one? Over the roof. What does over the roof mean?
I'm not sure.
Oh, this one made more sense. I actually think so too. I think last week's was a little bit harder to follow, and this week's was an easier one to follow because it was more of a story about why you should use less technology. So good. A lot of you guys like this one better. So that might be easier for you guys to write this essay. It says write an argumentative essay in which you compare and contrast the two blog posts and decide which one is more convincing. So this is the assignment you're working on this week for the rest of the week. An argumentative essay, so 5 paragraphs, where you compare and contrast the 2 posts. And you already just told me which one you guys found more convincing. Most of you guys said this one, the black hole of technology. As long as you're able to say why, you should be passing this assignment with flying colors. It does not need to be the blog that you agree with personally, but the one that you believe presents a stronger case. So you're going to consider the following questions. Which blogger or author presents a stronger supporting evidence? So who supports their ideas better? Which blogger makes better use of persuasive techniques, including repetition or appeals to emotion and appeals to reason? Those we talked about yesterday. Appealing to people's emotions to get them to be on your side, appealing to their logic and their reason. And then you have which blogger makes a stronger connection with the reader. So a lot of you guys would say that the black hole of technology made a stronger connection because you can relate to it more, right? And then the next one, which blogger does a better job of dealing with the opposing opinion? So which one presents the opposite side of the case better? There's some questions to consider when you are writing your essay. And then, that's a little tip. We don't necessarily need it. Your goal here isn't to try to convince me of anything. It's just to kind of make sure that you're looking at the sides of the argument and telling me which one worked better for you. So for today, based off of this prompt about comparing and contrasting, what we're going to do for the rest of today is fill out this chart. It says with a partner, no partners, hard to work with partners during the coronavirus and online. So on your own. Take notes on each of the blogger's perspectives and discuss what you notice. Use the chart to capture your observations. So this is what we're doing for the rest of the day. You do not need to go further than this because tomorrow I'm going to give you a Google document where you can start writing a rough draft and things like that. So this is just your pre-writing where you're getting your ideas out. So if we open up this chart, you're going to have to open up the Teens and Technology assignment as well so you can look at it. If you need to re-listen to both of these articles, go for it. But you are going to be just filling out these boxes. You can start with Teens and Technology or the Black Hole of Technology, whichever one you want to start with. But you're going to be looking for the strongest reasons first that support this person's argument. Then you're going to look to see which persuasive techniques they use. So that would be repetition, appeal to emotion or appeal to reason. You're going to look to see if they opposed or they presented the opposing side. So Teens and Technology talks about more technology. Did they talk about less technology? Yes or no? Why? All that stuff. And then the weaknesses. What are the weaknesses in this person's arguments about technology? So you're doing those 4 things for both articles. So it doesn't need to be long, big sentences, just little bits of notes that you can use to write your essay tomorrow. Does this make sense? Okay, what questions do you have about what you're doing? Any questions? None? Looking good? All right. If you have a question, raise your hand. Shout it out if you're online, all that stuff. But your goal today is to finish this chart so that you have something to work with tomorrow when I'm gone. Make sense? All good? Okay, go ahead and be working on that. I'm going to stop our recording. If you think of any questions as you're doing this,